Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic is the real acid test for Moses Itauma. If he loses this fight, I think Moses Itauma is young enough to come again. If he wins this fight, I think the sky is the limit and he can go and fight for a world title. Filip Hrgovic, on the other hand, if he loses this fight, he goes back to the queue and he has to fight himself into title contention once again. And that's going to be difficult because there's a lot of fighters in the queue that are waiting for the world title shot. If he wins this fight, he's beating the guy that everybody is raving about, the guy that people are touting to be the next big thing in the heavyweight division, which means that Filip Hrgovic can go on and achieve some other things in his career. So this fight is a really important fight for both fighters, and it means quite similar to them because of their career trajectory that we're seeing right now. So look, Filip Hrgovic has had some things to say about Moses Itauma. So let me flip my screen and let's have a listen to what Filip Hrgovic said about Moses Itauma when he won against Dave Allen recently. Have a listen to this.
For a decade to come, at the very least, do you think he's as good as people are making out?
Look, he definitely got skills to be, next face of boxing. He got speed, timing, combinations, footwork, his southpaw. But he's not tested, man. We never see him in trouble. We never seen him receive a punch being dropped and stand up and continue to fight. He's definitely is a great boxer, but we don't know is he a real warrior. So I think I'm proved warrior all my amateur career, all my professional career. I was in big fights, hard fights, so I proved my heart, my determination, but he never was tested. So maybe he's a new next Lennox Lewis or something similar, or maybe he's next, like, I don't know, David Price or Jared Anderson or something like that, guys who got skills but doesn't have a heart and determination.
Look, Filip Hrgovic is asking questions that I think some fans are also asking as well. And for some time, I've been asking this question. I said, with Moses Itauma, he's doing some really good things and he's beating some decent fighters. But what we haven't seen is him climbing off the canvas or getting hit with a big shot. What is his chin like? What is his defense like when he's been put under pressure? What is his resilience like when he has to overcome challenges in the ring to win a fight? These are all questions that I've asked a number of times. And I think as time goes on, as Itauma fights good fighters and top fighters, we're going to get answers to those questions. But so far, what we've seen is Itauma destroying his opponents and doing that in a really good fashion. As you can see here, last fight against Jermaine Franklin, that was a fantastic performance by his own standard. He got in there and did not allow Jermaine Franklin to breathe in that ring. He was on Jermaine Franklin the whole time, just throwing combinations, and his speed was incredible. Moses Itauma's hand speed, his foot speed, and the reaction to the counters is just amazing to see. And for someone that is a heavyweight, that is just frightening. The speed that he has in the ring is very difficult. And so that brings me into this fight against Filip Hrgovic, where I look at this fight and I go, stylistically, this is a really difficult fight. Like, this is a really tough fight for Filip Hrgovic because stylistically, Moses Itauma is a nightmare for Filip Hrgovic because Filip Hrgovic is durable. He can take a shot. He's tough. He's rugged. Sometimes he's a bully in there, and he's a really difficult fighter to break down because you can't knock him out. And he's taken some really good shots over the years in the ring, and he's still stood on his feet, and he's been tested. So he knows exactly what he's doing. But Moses Itauma is fast on his feet. He's got incredible hand speed. He hits hard. He's a really good boxer. He moves really well, and he's a southpaw. And these are all really difficult things that Filip Hrgovic has to deal with in the earlier rounds. In the earlier rounds, this is going to be a really dangerous fight for Filip Hrgovic. He has to overcome the storm. He has to, get Moses Itauma to work himself out here. He has to get Moses Itauma to get tired, because if Moses Itauma is not tired in this fight in the first 6 rounds, then Filip Hrgovic will not get a hand on this fight. He has to do something to get Moses Itauma to land his best shots. He has to stay in the fight. He has to be resilient. And he has to ride the storm. And that is when he's going to have some joy later on in this fight. Because, as I said, in the earlier rounds, he's in serious trouble. He's going to have to take a lot of punishment, because I don't think that Filip Hrgovic's speed and his reaction time is similar to Moses Itauma. I think he's going to have to do a really good job to keep Moses Itauma off of him in the earlier rounds, because we saw that in the Franklin fight. Itama was changing the levels. He was making it really difficult for Franklin to sort of read what he was doing. And as I said, the hand speed and the combination was incredible. And he just overwhelmed Franklin. And I see similar thing happening in this fight. Now, don't get me wrong. Franklin is nowhere near Filip Hrgovic when it comes to staying in a fight, being resilient, being resolute, and biding your time and taking advantage of a moment when it comes. I think Filip Hrgovic is a really good fighter, and I think he can do that. But the question is, can he do that for the first 6 rounds? Because this is where this fight is going to tell. And if he can do that in the first 6 rounds, then Filip Hrgovic has an advantage in this fight. Then Filip Hrgovic can take over this fight and take the fight into deep waters. And then we can see if Moses Itauma has got what it takes to overcome the challenge, to change the trajectory of the fight. If Filip Hrgovic is in the ascendancy in that fight, can Moses Itauma do something to change the trajectory, to change the way the fight is going? That is a question that I think we need answers to when it comes to Moses Itauma. But when you look at this fight stylistically, I think Moses Itauma has so many advantages that Filip Hrgovic does not have. But Filip Hrgovic is durable. He has been in great fights. He's been in tough fights. He's been proven. As he said there, being an amateur and also being a professional, he's been in there with some really good fighters, and his heart and his determination has been tested. And that is something that we haven't seen yet with Moses Itauma. So look, this is a really, really good fight. But Itauma has to win this fight in the first 6 rounds. And Filip Hrgovic, he has to bide his time. But the question then again is, can he keep taking that punishment for 6 rounds? Because what we saw in that Daniel Dubois fight was a Filip Hrgovic that was taking a lot of shots. He landed some really good shots on Dubois, but he was taking a lot of shots. And those shots were taking his toll on Filip Hrgovic. As we saw that the referee had to stop the fight because he was taking too many punishment and his eye was open. Now, one thing that Filip Hrgovic struggles with is that his skin does not take punishment. So can Moses Itauma target the frailties when it comes to Filip Hrgovic's skin to open the skin up and make it really difficult for Filip Hrgovic to overcome the onslaught and the punches and bunches and the speed and the accuracy and the boxing ability and the fact that Itama will be really dangerous in this fight. So look, Filip Hrgovic has his advantages in this fight. Moses Itauma has his advantage in this fight. And I think everybody will attest that Filip Hrgovic has to bide his time and try and take the young man into deep waters and see if he's got the ability to swim in those waters. And for Moses Itauma, he has to get to work as soon as possible. He has to use his speed, his footwork, his hand speed, and basically overwhelm Filip Hrgovic, dish out a lot of punishment, and maybe get the referee to stop this fight, because I am not sure that Moses Itauma will be able to knock out Filip Hrgovic. Now, that is possible. Just because people haven't done it doesn't mean that Moses Itauma cannot do it. But the thing is, Filip Hrgovic, so far in his career, he's shown an incredible chin, and therefore I think it will be really difficult for Moses Itauma to knock him out as he's knocked other fighters out, and he hits hard. So this is not out of the realms of possibility for Moses Itauma to knock out. But Moses Itauma has to be careful not to gas out, because in the Franklin fight, I noticed something in the corner, because Moses Itauma was complaining that he was feeling the pace in that fight because he's exerted so much energy and wasn't pacing himself very well, and he felt that he was getting tired. But when you fight against Filip Hrgovic, someone that's got the engine and that can stay in there, then Moses Itauma has to be careful and has to ensure that he's managing, that he's pacing himself very well not to get tired, because if he gets tired in the fight against Filip Hrgovic, then there's going to be a problem. So look, Moses Itauma is going into this fight as the favorite. Filip Hrgovic is going in this fight and everybody's thinking, look, Moses Itauma has to get past Filip Hrgovic to become the next big thing. And Filip Hrgovic is thinking, look, I need to beat this guy to get a world title shot. So it's a really good fight. But I think Moses Itauma is the favorite. I think everybody will be picking Itama to win. I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know what you think about this fight. How do you break it down? Who do you think win this fight? Do you think Moses Itauma would have to come through some adversity in this fight? Or do you think it's going to be an easy fight? Do you give Filip Hrgovic any chance at all in this fight? Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about it.